Atlantis. For more than 2,000 years, this name has echoed through history like a whisper from beneath the ocean. A lost civilization, a powerful empire, a city swallowed by the sea in a single day and night. But was Atlantis ever real? Or is it a warning story that humanity was never meant to forget? The story of Atlantis enters recorded history through the writings of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Around 360 years before Christ, Plato wrote two dialogues titled Timaeus and Critias. In these texts, he describes a powerful island civilization located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. Plato does not describe Atlantis as a primitive society. He portrays it as advanced, wealthy, and highly organized. At the center of the city were concentric rings of land and water. Vast canals connected the inner city to the sea. Massive temples stood in honor of powerful gods. The people possessed great naval strength and immense natural resources. Atlantis, according to Plato, was not only prosperous, it was ambitious. Over time, the Atlanteans sought to expand their power beyond their island. They attempted to conquer lands across the Mediterranean, including ancient Athens. But something changed within their society. As their wealth increased, their moral discipline weakened. Power replaced virtue. Pride replaced balance. Then, according to the story, disaster struck. In a single day and night of earthquakes and floods, Atlantis sank beneath the ocean. And just like that, it vanished. For centuries, scholars have debated whether Plato intended this story as literal history or philosophical allegory. Many believe Atlantis was a symbolic tale. Plato often used fictional societies to illustrate political and moral ideas. Atlantis may have been his warning about corruption, excess, and the dangers of imperial ambition. But there is something unusual in the way Plato tells the story. He insists that Atlantis was not invented. He claims the account came from older Egyptian records. According to his narrative, the Athenian lawmaker Solon learned of Atlantis from Egyptian priests who said the events occurred many thousands of years earlier. If this was purely fiction, why anchor it in ancient testimony? This question has fueled exploration, speculation, and scientific investigation for generations. One of the most discussed real-world candidates connected to the Atlantis story is the volcanic island of Fera, known today as Santorini. Around 1600 years before Christ, one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded human history occurred there. The explosion was catastrophic. Ash darkened the skies. Tsunamis swept across the Aegean Sea. Entire settlements were buried. Nearby, the Minoan civilization flourished on the island of Crete. The Minoans were advanced seafarers. Their cities had complex architecture, drainage systems, and vibrant art. After the eruption, their influence declined dramatically. Could Plato's Atlantis be a distant memory of this disaster, preserved and transformed through centuries of storytelling? It is possible, but there are differences. Plato describes Atlantis as lying beyond the Mediterranean. In the Atlantic Ocean, Santorini lies within the Aegean Sea. The timelines do not perfectly align, and there is no direct evidence linking the Minoans to the specific circular city described in Plato's account. Other theories suggest Atlantis may have been located in the Atlantic Ocean near the Azores Islands. Some have proposed that Atlantis was part of a now submerged landmass. However, modern geology presents a challenge to this idea. The Earth's tectonic plates do not support the sudden sinking of an entire continent in the middle of the ocean within historical times. Ocean floors are well mapped, and there is no evidence of a lost continent matching Plato's description. In more recent decades, fringe theories have even placed Atlantis beneath the ice of Antarctica. But again, there is no credible archaeological or geological evidence supporting the existence of an advanced ancient civilization hidden there. So if there is no confirmed physical evidence, Why does Atlantis continue to capture the human imagination? Perhaps because Atlantis represents more than a place. It represents the idea of a forgotten golden age, a civilization that reached extraordinary heights of knowledge and power, only to collapse under its own weight. History shows us that civilizations rise and fall. The Ramang Empire once dominated vast territories across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. It built roads, aqueducts, and monumental architecture. Yet it too declined and fragmented. The Maya civilization constructed massive cities in Central America. They developed advanced calendars and astronomical systems. Then many of their cities were mysteriously abandoned. Even powerful modern nations are not immune to economic crises, environmental disasters, or political instability. Atlantis speaks to a deep fear within us. The fear that no matter how advanced we become, collapse is always possible. But Atlantis also raises another question. Could there have been ancient civilizations more advanced than we assume? For much of modern history, it was believed that large-scale architecture began only a few thousand years ago. Then discoveries like Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey changed that understanding. This site, dating back more than 11,000 years, predates Stonehenge and the pyramids of Egypt. It shows that complex structures existed far earlier than previously thought. Human history is still being rewritten. Yet rewriting history does not automatically confirm lost super-civilizations with advanced technology. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And so far, there is no verified archaeological evidence of a technologically advanced global civilization that vanished beneath the sea. Still, myths often preserve fragments of real events. Flood myths appear across cultures worldwide. From the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh to the biblical story of Noah, many traditions describe catastrophic floods. These stories may reflect real ancient climate events, rising sea levels after the last ice age, or regional disasters remembered and retold over generations. Perhaps Atlantis is a cultural memory of such an event, or perhaps it is a philosophical mirror. Plato may have been less interested in geography and more concerned with morality. In his telling, Atlantis falls not simply because of natural disaster, but because of moral decay. The civilization loses its balance. It becomes consumed by greed and domination. And that lesson remains timeless. When power exceeds wisdom, collapse follows. Whether Atlantis was real or symbolic, its message resonates. Every civilization faces choices: growth or restraint, cooperation or conquest, sustainability or excess. The deeper question may not be whether Atlantis existed. The deeper question may be whether we are capable of becoming Atlantis. In a world facing climate change, rising sea levels, geopolitical tension, and rapid technological acceleration, the story feels less like ancient myth and more like warning. Perhaps Atlantis endures because it speaks to our present as much as our past. It reminds us that knowledge without responsibility can be destructive, that wealth without balance can lead to instability, that even the greatest cities are not immune to forces beyond their control. So is Atlantis real? There is no definitive proof. There are possibilities. There are parallels. There are mysteries. But there is no confirmed lost empire resting intact beneath the Atlantic Ocean. And yet, the legend persists. Because Atlantis is not only about a sunken island, it is about human ambition. It is about memory and myth. It is about the fragile nature of civilization. And perhaps, above all, it is about the question we rarely ask ourselves. If a great civilization once vanished in a single day and night, could we? Thank you for watching. If you value research-driven documentary content like this, subscribe and support the channel with a like.